Good morning, everyone. My name is Piyush Kumar Mishra, and my registration number is 22 BCE 5003. The title of my DA3 is University Management System. The scenario which I have used is a university wants to manage its data related to student, course, department, instructor, and enrollment. The system should also track the library book issued to the student. The schema which I have used look like this. The first table is student table that have various attributes. The first attribute is student, which is the primary key, name, date of birth, street, city, state, and zip. And the other table is course table that has attribute course ID, course name, credits, and the other table is department table that has three attributes that are department ID, which is a primary key, department name, location. The another table is instructor table, which has attribute instructor ID, name, salary, and department ID. The fifth table which I have used is enrollment table, enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, grade. The sixth table which I have used is library table, library ID, issue date, return date, and student ID. The seventh and the last table which I have used is book table that has attribute book ID, title, author, and library ID. Now to Python code embedded with SQL, I have written the code for it to establish the connection between Oracle and Python. I have imported CX Oracle from datetime. I have imported datetime. To establish the connection, first I have written username system, then I have used password, then DSN, and I have used attribute name connection that uses a function cx oracle.connect. Then I have used attribute cursor that use a function connection.cursor. Table which I have used are book, library, enrollment, instructor, department, course, and student. For table in table names, try cursor.execute, drop table, table cascade constraint, except cx oracle.database error pass. This code will help us to ignore if the table exists previously. The first question, uh, the 10 question which I have written are, the first question is to create the student table, create course table, create and then create book table with foreign key, insert record into student table, update address of a student, find the average salary of a student, find the department name of each instructor, calculate age of each student, and delete a course record where ID is 101. These are my 10 questions, and the code related to this are first cursor.execute for the first question. I have used the function cursor.execute to create a table student that contain a student ID as a primary key, name, DOB, street, city, worker, state, zip, and I have executed the code. Now I have executed the code. You can see that the student table is created. Now we'll go to second question. The second question says that we have to create a course table. We have used the function cursor.execute to create table name course, course ID, which is a primary key, course name, which is a varchar, credit, which is a number, and you can see that course table is created after running. Now for the we all now I'm creating all the tables so that which will help us for to proceed the other question. First, I have created a department table, cursor.execute, create table department that contain a department ID as a primary key, department name, location. And then I have created an instructor table, create table instructor, where I have taken the attribute instructor ID as a primary key, name, salary, department ID, and a foreign key, uh, that is department ID, which I have taken from department table. Then I have created an enrollment table with the help of a cursor.execute, create table enrollment ID as a primary key, student ID, course ID, grade, and foreign key. I have taken student ID from student and another foreign key, course ID from course I have taken. Now I'm creating a library table with the help of a cursor.execute, create table library ID as a primary key, issue date, return date, student ID, and a foreign key, student ID, which I have taken from student table. Now I'm creating a book. And now the third question is create book table with a foreign key. I've used a function cursor.execute, create table book ID as a primary key, title, author, library ID, and a foreign key, library ID, which I have taken from library table. You can see that record into you can see that book table with a foreign key is created. Now I'll proceed with the fourth question, that is insert record into student table. Here you can see that I have inserted three record. The first record is uh, about Alice. The second is about DOB, Bob, and another is Charlie. You can see that I have inserted uh, their name, date of birth, city, zip, and state. I have used a function cursor.execute many to, to insert it. I have written here the code insert into student ID, name, DOB, state, city, state, zip. You can see that the record into student table has been created. After executing, you can see that I have run this command, record into student table has been created. Now you can see that the fifth question says that update address of a student. So here I am updating the student whose street is 101, uh, whose student ID is 1. I'm changing his street as 101, um, 101 new street, city as city D, state as state D, and zip as 11111. You can see that the address of student has been updated. Now I'm inserting all the records to different table that are department ID, instructor ID, course, and enrollment. The department has four attribute: department ID, department name, location. Instructor has four attribute, that is instructor ID, name, salary, department ID. The course table has course ID, course name, credit. Enrollment has enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, and grade. The value which I have inserted in the department table uh, is department ID is 1, department name is computer science, and location is building A. For instructor table, I have inserted instructor ID as 1, professor as Professor Smith, salary 80,000, and department ID as 1. For course table, I have inserted course ID as 101, course name as data structure, and credit S3. And for enrollment table, I have inserted enrollment ID as 1, student ID as 1, course ID as 101, and grade as A. Now, for the sixth question, find the average salary of the instructor. To find the average salary of the instructor, I have used a cursor.execute function you can see here, which is selecting the average salary from the instructor. Here the average salary um, is taken, and you can see that the average salary is printed as 80,000. So the average salary of my instructor is 80,000. Now the seventh question is list all the student enrollment in a specific course. So I am taking the student ID as 101 and checking to which subject it has been enrolled. I have used a cursor.execute function. Select S name from student S. Join enrollment E on S dot S student ID equal to E dot student ID, where E dot course ID equal to course ID. Here I have used join function to find all the students enrolled in a specific course. It is fetching all the results with the help of cursor dot fetch all function. Now I've printed the results, and the student enrolled in the course ID 101 is Alice. Alice. So now the eighth question is to find the department name of each instructor. Cursor dot execute function which I have used to find the department name of each instructor. I have used a join function, join SQL query, select I dot name, comma D dot department name from instructor I, join department D on I dot department ID equal to D dot department ID. Instructor, I have used cursor dot fetch all function to fetch the details of the instructor, and then I have printed the instructor slash department. You can see that the result has been printed. The instructor department names are Professor Smith, Computer Science. You can see that the department name of each instructor has been printed. Now I have to calculate age of each student. Cursor.execute, select name, um, select name. The ninth question of mine is calculate age of each student, and where I have used a function cursor.execute, select name, floor, month between 6 date, comma DOB slash 12 as age from student. Uh, to fetch and print the result, I have used the cursor.fetch all, which is showing into student age, and I have printed student age. You can see that the age of Alice is 24, age of Bob as 23, age of Charlie as 24. The 10th question of mine is to delete a course record where ID is equal to 101. Uh, To execute, I have used a function cursor.execute delete from enrollment where course ID is 101. Now to delete the course record in the course table, I have used a function cursor.execute delete from course where course ID equal to 101. Print the course where the course ID equal to 101 has been deleted. You can see that the course record where ID equal to 101 has been deleted. And to close the cursor connection which we have established in the starting, we have used cursor.close, and to close the connection, we have used connection.close. You can see that the data operation completed and connection is closed. The fourth question is the question for the query. Specify the consider 10 question and execute the query through Python code and paste the screenshot for each of the query here. The first question is to create student table. To create student table, I've used the function cursor.execute. It is creating a student table that has attribute student ID as a primary key, name, the UV, street, and worker, city, state, and step. Then see the output that the student table is created. The second question is create course table. To create course table, I have used a function cursor.execute. create table course. I have created a course table, course ID as the primary key, course name and credit. You can see that the course table is created. Create book table with a foreign key. To create a book table with the help of a primary key, I have used a function named cursor.execute. To create the table book, I have used book ID as the primary key, title, author, library ID, and a foreign key which is taken from which has been taken from library ID. You can see that the books table with foreign key has been created. The fourth question is to insert the record into student table. To insert the record into student table, I have inserted the record name Alice, Bob, Charlie, date of birth, address, city, state, and zip. With the help of cursor.execute many, I have inserted this record into student table. And you can see that the record into student table has been inserted. The fifth question is to update address of a student. To update the address of a student, I have used the cursor.execute update student. Update student where I have updated the student whose student ID is 1. I have updated his street, city, state, and zip. You can see that the address of student has been updated. Find all, find the average salary of the instructor. And this is the Python code which help us to find the average salary of the instructor. I have used a cursor.execute function to calculate the average salary of the instructor. And the query is select average salary from the instructor. It is fetching the data with the help of cursor.fetch1, which it is storing in average salary. And then I am printing the average salary of the instructor. You can see that the average salary of the instructor is 80,000. List the seventh question is list all the students enrolled in a specific course. Um, to check on the students which are enrolled in a specific course, I have taken a course ID as 101 to fetch it to find the student enrolled in this course. I have used a function cursor.execute. Select s.name from student s. Join enrollment e on s dot student id equal to e dot student id, where e dot course id equal to course id. I have used join to fetch all the result. I have used a cursor dot fetch all function, which I am storing it in student enrolled. Then I am printing it. As you can see that the student enrolled in course id with 101 is Alice only. And the eighth question is find the department name of each instructor. This is the code, Python code to find the department name of each instructor. I have used the cursor.execute function to fetch the department name of each instructor. Select I.name, comma D dot department from instructor I. Join department D on I dot department ID equal to D dot department ID. Instructor department cursor fetch. I have used cursor dot fetch all to fetch all the fetch each instructor with a department name. Then see that Professor Smith department is computer science. The ninth question is to calculate the age of each student. To calculate the age of each student, I have used cursor.execute function. Select name, comma floor, month between SYS date, comma DOB divided by 12 as age. This is the function I have used to find the date of birth, to find the age of the student, and to fetch the detail. I have used the cursor.fetch all, and I'm storing this detail into student ages, and I'm printing student ages. You can see that the age of Alice is 24, age of Bob is 23, age of Charlie is 24. The last question is delete a course record with where ID equal to 101. This is a Python code which I have used. I have used the cursor.execute function to delete um, to delete a course with ID 101. Delete from enrollment where course ID equal to 101. Now delete the course record in the course table. To delete it, I use the cursor.execute function. Delete from course where course ID equal to 101. Print the course record where ID equal to 101 has been deleted. You can see that the course record where ID equal to 101 has been deleted. This is my DA3. This is all my DA3. So I would say thank you in the last.